Hey everybody, welcome to Season 2 of the Author on Wheels podcast. My name is John Wood, and I am affectionately known as Author on Wheels. Join us as we have some incredible interviews with some incredible authors on the Author on Wheels podcast. David Kirby is the author of Prism, a book detailing his life with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. David grew up in Chicago and went to the University of Illinois class of 2017. He was able to live on campus and away from home and be fully independent thanks to a specialized residence program at the university. His unique living situation gave him the opportunity to have many difficult experiences that others would not often get to have. Back in February, we sat down with Mr. Kirby, author of Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchenne, to discuss the upcoming release of his new book. And today, we are going to follow up with Mr. Kirby on the status of Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchenne. So join us on the Author on Wheels podcast. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Author on Wheels podcast, season number 2. We are back with another series of awesome interviews, and for the next few interviews for season 2, we are not going to be doing brand new interviews. We are going to do an update series, and the first episode of this series, we're updating with Mr. David Kirby, aka David K, as he is called, the author of Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchenne. A little bit of backstory on David before we get on with the interview. If you've listened to the bio intro, David was born with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He is a college graduate of 2017 and has written his very first book, of which we are receiving an update on today. David, welcome back to the Author on Wheels podcast, my friend. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
I am so glad to have you back, man. I've been wondering, my listeners have been wondering about your book and where it's at and what's going on with it. So before we go on, we're going to go on, but let me ask, when was the official release date for Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchenne?
I released it July 13th of this year.
July? Go ahead.
So not too long ago.
July 15th of 2021. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. That's actually around the time where I released my children's book, Wandering Wheels. So we kind of share a book birthday, I call it.
Very cool.
So another question I have for you, we can kind of go into in depth on this. What was your initial goal for publishing this book? What is its purpose? What does Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchenne stand for in your eyes?
Well, I guess on one hand, I had the goal that I really wanted to write a book and publish it and get it out there, but on a more to the level, I wanted to get my story out there.
Yes.
I feel like as far as people with Duchenne go, um, I I've accomplished quite a bit, and I would hope that my story could inspire others with Duchenne, and hope also, as the title implies, shed light on life with Duchenne, give the disease and the experience of people living with it more exposure. It's mainstream. So.
Right. Now, give us a little bit of feedback on the writing, editing, and publishing process. What was it like? Paint us a picture of that if you can.
Well, okay. So, as far as the writing process goes, I just dove right in. I didn't have a plan or I didn't do any homework.
Right.
looking at writing advice or anything. And so, in that regard, I'd say the process of writing it in some ways was more difficult than it had to be because I really just kind of started with no real roadmap. Um, so on the other hand, once I got into it, was actually writing it. The actual process itself is quite enjoyable, especially because I was, writing about my own sort of experiences. So I got to kind of relive a lot of my own memories and things as I was writing. Um, as far as the publishing process goes, that I did do my homework. There's, I mean, it's for self-published authors these days. There's really a lot out there,
Mm-hmm.
so it really does take to find exactly where you want to go, where you want to start, and find out what the best options are for your situation. So I went for myself. I ended up going with two companies. One was Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The other was a distributor called Ingram Stark, which is
I've heard
another,
of them.
yeah, which they basically allow distribution everywhere that isn't Amazon. So, rather than me doing the work of making an account on Barnes and Noble and Apple and
Mm-hmm.
Google Play and everywhere else, they they handle it all for you. So I was
Right.
quite pleased with that.
Now, you said Ingram Spark allows you to publish everywhere but Amazon.
Yeah.
There are some fees, I guess, that are incurred into publishing through Ingram Spark.
Uh, yeah, I assume any distributor is going to take a certain percentage, but yeah, as far as Ingram Stock goes, their
Right.
fees are a bit higher than Amazon, but it's kind of worth it considering how wide of a distribution you're getting.
Right. Okay. Now I kind of understand it. I kind of dabbled a little bit with Ingram Spark a while back. Didn't really think about that, and that is a loud truck going down my street. I am so
Okay,
sorry. The window is wide the heck open.
that's
Okay,
okay.
but no. See, that's incredible to know that you have options in regards to publishing. I went with a small publisher that um it's a print on demand publisher is
Yeah,
what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah.
I call it a pod publisher,
Yeah.
but I've been with them since the beginning, and they have worked wonders with me. Now, do I want to get my book on in Barnes and Noble and Amazon and all that stuff? Yes, I do. When I'm much more financially stable and with it and all that. But that kind of
Of
leads me
course.
into my next question. If you had to go back and do it all over again, David, would you?
I would say I absolutely would. However, I would have definitely had a plan going in. I would not just start writing blind. I would make an outline and I would, figure out what my book was going to be and not hope to figure it out as I go. But otherwise, yes, I absolutely would. It's it really is quite a accomplishment, and I'm proud of it. So I would definitely do it again.
Exactly. You should be proud of that because you've done something as a person with a different ability that nobody would think that you would do. You've published your life story. You're letting your life story be out there for everyone to read and for everybody to critique and for everybody to criticize and whatever you see about that. But you have literally done something that a lot of people do not think you would do, and that's telling your story. And that's all about, or that's what Author on Wheels is all about, is telling your story to the best of your ability. Doesn't matter if you use extra words or if you, need extra time or, what have you. That's incredible. And that's an inspiration to me to know that another person shares my goals and my outlook on that certain thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
But really, where can our listeners purchase a copy of your awesome book? I know that it's available on Amazon because I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. It's available on Amazon as a Kindle book or a paperback. And, like I said, I have a distributor in all kinds of other locations, basically anywhere you can buy books online. So, like Apple Books, Google Play,
Right.
Barnes and Noble, wherever you get your books from, you can find it there.
That is incredible. I'm going to try to add as many links to each of these sites as I can in the information of this interview, guys. It's all going to be listed down there along with our social media. Our guests' social media will also be linked in there, and anything else you would like to know about either David Kirby, Prism, or the Author on Wheels in general. It's all going to be linked and listed down in the comment, or not the comments, but in the information of this podcast. I'm so sorry. I'm used to doing interviews via YouTube and Facebook. It's kind of hard getting back into the podcasting thing, but guys, we have had the best interview today with David. David, is there anything you'd like to say to close out this interview?
Um, yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, good.
I, in the last month or so, I've begun work on outlining my second book, which will doesn't have a title yet, but
Right.
it will be sort of combining psychology and disability. So um, I would I would hope to have that finished by the end of next year. So maybe I can come back and talk about that one at some point.
That would be amazing. So the end of 2022, you're going to have your second book done and ready for the Author on Wheels podcast. That's
That's the
amazing.
plan.
This
Hopefully,
is this I don't even think we talked about this in our pre-interview, but this is news to me. This is incredible. Guys, David is an awesome person. You guys check him out. All of his links to his social media, his books, everything, it's all going to be down in the comments. It's all going to be down in the information of this podcast. Guys, we'd like to thank you, David, for showing everyone listening that a person with a disability can still tell their story to the best of their ability. It may just take a long time. It may take some bumps along the way, but that's all life. Life is about bumps. And the writing journey is going to have some more bumps, and you're going to lose some, you're going to lose some luggage along the way. You may run out of gas on the way, but it's all about the journey. And life is a journey, especially for an author on wheels. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to the Author on Wheels podcast, season number 2. We opened it up with David Kirby, author of Prism, Shedding Light on Life with Duchesne. Until next time, this is Author on Wheels reminding you that your life is a story, and I'm imposing the question of how are you going to write the next chapter? David, thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we will see you next time, brother.
all right. Thank you.
See you soon.